Good day, Brittle Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson in Salt Lake City. And today I'm joined by Michael Vampire from the band Vampires Everywhere. How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Good. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice. How are things down there besides hot?
Super hot, but other than that, they're fantastic here, man. This is the new LA.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to talk to you about a few things. One of the first things I wanted to talk to you about was it appears that 2021 is going to be a good year for fans of Vampires Everywhere. You guys have an upcoming EP titled The Awakening, and you just signed a deal with Cleopatra Records. Do you have a hard date
Correct.
for the release of that album or the EP?
We're tentatively right now looking at October 1st for the EP.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 4-song EP, correct?
I think we're going to do 5.
Oh, you could do 5. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then I was going to ask you, how has your sound evolved over the last 5 years or so since you kind of went away and came back? What do you feel like is there a new sound, or you guys kind of are you just going off of how things were working, or what can we expect from you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of took a bit off every record of my favorite songs, and I wanted to have a bit of that Vampires Everywhere nostalgia, but wanted a newer sound, a fresher sound than what we had before. You know, obviously playing dated rock music isn't going over very well in the environment we're in, so we decided to go back in, take our love for nostalgia of Vampires, add 808s, add rap beats, kind of freshen it up to what's going on right now with the emerging emo rap scene and all this new pop punk stuff and goth stuff. So I wanted to keep it relevant. So when you do listen to the EP, you will hear a little bit of each record on each song with a twist of today. So I wanted to keep that feeling alive for sure.
Nice. And the first single you released is Witch. So how would you say that compares to the rest of the album, or is it just a sample of a small picture in the album?
I think beat wise, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of 808s. We didn't want to oversaturate the songs too much in the verses with guitars. I have a love for this band called The Midnight. I had a lot of 80s vibe in there, like dark 80s sounds. I think Witch is a good producer of what it will be, but there is a lot of different vocal ranges on the record. I think the next single we're going to release, is a little bit of the screaming, and then the chorus is actually clean, and then we have other songs that are clean, and we have a great cover. So I think more or less, if you like Witch, you'll like the rest of the record. So I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
So when you say you like some of the 80s, I'm just curious because I'm an 80s guy. What kind of 80s stuff do you get into?
Oh man, everything. First off, I'm a giant 80s metal guy. We'll always have a solo on our songs. It's hard, even if we're doing a dance song, you'll hear some sort of crazy Van Halen, Dimebag type solo somewhere in the song. I just think it's a necessity. It makes me feel something when I hear that. It's like the first time you saw the movie Top Gun, man.
Yeah.
And he's riding the motorcycle, or he's about to take off, and you're like, yeah, that's a vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So it has that vibe, but it also has, stuff that I don't want to say The Cure, but it has that kind of dark wave, like Susie and the Banshees vibe on some of the things where you'll hear this kind of dark EDM wave. So hopefully people hear that as well, and they kind of correlate it with that. So
nice. And the first video, the single you released was Witch, and the video is amazing, very sinister and very dark. What can you tell us about the making of the video?
Well, I mean, I came up with the idea. I've never had a real coffin in a video. There's a lot of cheese out there for goth right now, and I'm a big person on trying to keep it as real as humanly possible. Obviously, there's going to be cheese in goth. It's just what goth is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wanted to keep it a little bit more on the realistic side, and that's kind of what we did there. I recruited Randy Edwards, super good guy, great friend. He shoots a lot for Periphery and those type of bands, and he's a guitar head. So he came in and kind of saw my vision with, okay, we need a coffin. We don't want any kind of desert or warehouse background. It's just overplayed.
Yeah.
A lot of the fisheye lenses, back in the day, I know obviously Marilyn Manson is a no-no right now in the cancel culture world, but when you first saw Beautiful People, man, that's kind of where I was going on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you'd mentioned that there's a cover on the album. I'm assuming you can't give it away right now, but is it an 80s cover?
No.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No, it's not. That's not an 80s cover. It's actually an R&B rap song. I don't want to say it's rap, but more like hip hop R&B. I can tell you it's a Weeknd cover for sure.
Okay.
I'm a giant Weeknd fan. Me and Craig, who wrote this album together, we are giant Weeknd fans. But at the same time, The Weeknd is a lot of dark wave, a lot of 80s dark wave. If you listen to The Weeknd, you can see his love for Prince and Michael Jackson. And, you can hear all these different elements in there. And he's just an inspiration to us, man. It's just as far as sounds go, obviously we don't sound anything like it. And I can't sing like him even if I had it on my best day. But it has that vibe.
And then so you mentioned some of the other people playing in the band with you. Who do you have anybody that was previously in any of your bands, or are you just a fresh start there?
I have Craig, who is in Dead Girls Academy. I brought him over to this mainly because we're writing partners, and it makes complete sense. And to be clear, I haven't met anyone that could solo like Craig.
Yeah.
And he's only 24 years old, man. It's he was playing Van Halen at 13 in classical piano, so
nice.
He's just an anomaly. I left an open door to the co-creator of Vampires Everywhere back in the day, Aaron Graves.
Okay.
If he wants to play any of the shows, he can. He was in the video. I invited him to be in it. So yeah, he's the only other one I guess would be nostalgic. The rest of the band, we don't usually talk. There's a lot of animosity. So
okay, so pretty much the rest of the new band is going to be an all new look for everybody that goes and sees a show and stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. And speaking of shows, you guys have a tour coming up that runs from the 1st of October through the end of October.
Yeah, we do. It's crazy, man. I'm actually headed to Ohio tomorrow for Summit Music Festival, which is my manager's festival, which will have Saving Abel and us, the Buddy the Bear, and a couple other awesome bands. And that'll be our first time stepping on stage in like 6 years.
Wow.
We've only had 3 days of rehearsal out here trying to get all of our tracks up situated. It's been pretty bananas. And and then after that, we are doing a full tour in October from the 1st to the 30th.
Yeah, and luckily for me, you're coming to Salt Lake City, so I'll get to see you. I'm just curious as to the show-wise, are you going to have a lot of theatrics, or is it going to just be more of a straightforward rock and roll show?
Oh no, I'm bringing the kitchen sink to this one.
Are you?
Expect
Okay,
full
nice.
production.
Nice.
Yeah, it's our headliner. We'll be playing 10 to 12 songs. We'll have interludes with crazy stuff. I want to bring back. Even back in the day from 2009, almost in 2013, 14, we weren't too theatrical on stage, and I think that kind of hurt us. And when I brought the band back in 15 and 16, we had go-go dancers covered in blood. We had some crazy stuff. So expect some surprises for sure as far as production goes.
Nice. So for me, it sounds a lot like some of the old Alice Cooper production stuff. I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan, and him always probably not going to go as far as getting executed on stage, but that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, man. We're known for having fire breathers and dancers and all sorts of ritual sacrifice stuff. Salt Lake City might not be a giant fan of that, but
I'm sure they will be.
We're into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Salt Lake, the state of Utah is very conservative, but the city itself is very liberal and very into new things.
Awesome. So dude, I'm excited for that date as well.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you. I always thought it was funny that you guys got kind of lumped into the Twilight crew thing. Your music is anything but Twilight music, and the last time I saw you, I didn't see you twinkle. Do you feel like you've shaken that categorical lump?
Yes, I think that was a matter of timing. We hit MTV's Headbangers Ball, I think in 2010, and Twilight was in full motion back then, and I think people had just no choice but to correlate me to that, and it was unfortunate because I even named the band after the Lost Boys to kind of, say no, this is what it is. But I think people took the name literally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hate. But it's interesting because you've had bands through the history of time. Like you said, Alice Cooper or King Diamond, or you can just keep naming the bands that have makeup.
Uh-huh.
But in the scene at the time, it was just us and Motionless in White. And Motionless was a lot harder than us, so they got more accepted, and we were the black sheep, man. I think we were a little too ahead of the trend at the time. And nowadays, if you take a look at the culture and subculture, goth and makeup and everything is super accepted. And I think that I think this is bringing a whole new vibe to the band, man. I think people are, obviously we got posted on Blabbermouth and all the elitist metalheads had something to say, but other than that, it's been pretty good, a good reception.
Well, I think the interesting part is for me, metal is a melting pot of everything, and for me as a metalhead, I feel like part of being a metalhead is accepting everything, and
right.
So being elitist to me isn't being a metalhead.
I'm with you on that, man. I don't really get it. I mean, I have stuff that I highly dislike, but you won't see me going online trolling and saying, "Oh, this is terrible." It's just, you got to think about these people that are sitting home that are just, listening to Mastodon every 5 minutes, and everything that just does not sound like it is not it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's what we deal with. But you know what? Bad press is good press, and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to ask you on the kind of a movie note. I know you took some of your inspiration from a lot of the '80s, vampire movies, Lost Boys, Fright Night, some of those. Have you seen any good horror movies in the last few years that have inspired you at all?
Oh man, I mean, every Conjuring is amazing, except the last one. That last one that hurt my feelings.
Did it really?
The Conjuring, fantastic. All the Sinister movies, stuff like that, man. I mean, I really like James Wan. I like a lot of the stuff that could be real, like a lot of the haunting movies. But it's I've seen some weird stuff too, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you. You talked about something like the Lost Boys and some of that stuff. Did you ever? It's kind of a cult classic, but did you ever see the movie Near Dark?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
With Bill Paxton.
That's an OG.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great one. That was kind of like the dark sister to the Lost Boys.
Yeah, it's funny because my mom used to take me to one of those department stores that had the videotapes that were connected to it, and we would just rent. It wasn't even a Blockbuster, man. It was like some other shit, and we got all these horror movies. Just let me watch all day long, all these 80s. So I grew up on them all. I have such a love, and that's why it was really cool. I mean, Fangoria posted us, and we had a lot of cool stuff posted. It's like, you guys and Knotfest and all that. But when Fangoria posted, man, it wasn't even about us. It was just about Fangoria. Yeah. I grew up reading that magazine, and I'm a horror freak, so it was super cool, man. Super cool.
Well, the funny thing is, you mentioned like the renting the movies, the VHS and stuff. I mean, back then you were committed. It's not like it is today. You can watch 10 minutes of a movie, and if you don't like it, you just kick it off. Back then you were committed because you got home and you had to watch that movie because you paid for it.
Exactly. Well, what's funny, man, is my attention span is the same. So, once you watch one movie once and you just want to see the parts, I find myself in the beginning, middle, and end all the time.
Yeah.
I think the attention span of humanity right now is kind of shot. I mean, pandemic probably fueled that. It was like that before, but it's more elevated now. People are just always in a rush.
Yeah, true. So during the pandemic, what were some of the guilty pleasures you took into during the pandemic?
Oh man. Well, luckily at that time, we had signed another record deal when I was doing a Dead Girls Academy record cycle, and we were busy doing a whole record, shooting music videos. I didn't stop. I mean, I got COVID
nice.
during it. We got over it. But other than that, I didn't stop working on music. I mean, other than music, I mean, like everyone else, we were drinking and we were eating, and that's really all you could do, man. Drink, eat, and watch movies. And I'm just thankful I'm out of Los Angeles, because that dictatorship is a sinking ship, if you will. So Las Vegas is more open to keeping their economy, and which leaves me with more stuff to do. So
my last question for you is this: name me a song by Vampires Everywhere that best describes the state of the world today.
Oh, that's a good one. I would say Unholy Eyes.
Okay.
It's funny because I made on Hellbound and Heartless. I think that's the only ballad on the record, and I sing it in such a grimy voice, but the connotation behind the songs, it's just like the world is just hanging by a piece of string, and it's just, everything is an illusion, and it's the way you see things in your eyes that dictates, what your reality is. And I think that has a lot to do with politics today, and a lot to do with the news stations spitting out propaganda. Yeah. I think Unholy Eyes would be perfect. I mean, even the name itself would pretty much describe the political campaigns we've been watching.
It's true. Well, Michael, I appreciate your time, and everybody go pick up the new album, or EP, The Awakening, when it comes out around October 1st. And then don't forget to check out a live show when you come to a town near you guys. So I appreciate your time, Michael, and it was good to talk to you.
Oh, Sam, appreciate it.
All right, we'll chat soon. I'll probably even see you on tour.
Yeah, man, I'll see you in Salt Lake.
Yeah, you will. Okay, take care, man.
Awesome. Bye-bye.